Folktale from Himachal Pradesh. Two brothers. If we are told that there was a king called Gyan Chand, we would take him to be full of knowledge, Gyan and wise. But the King of Chhatrapur was far from such qualities. In fact, he would not want his people to raise crops or dig wells or lay roads. So much so, there was not enough food grains for the people to eat, not enough water to drink, and they could not move about freely and were forced to climb mountains and walk over stones and mud to reach places. But this did not deter King Gyan Chand to impose taxes on houses, shops, and farms. The people hated the king, but what could they do? "I wonder where this would lead us all," said one villager to a group who had gathered beneath a banyan tree one evening. "There's no point in just grumbling." The crowd raised their head to see who it was who spoke. It was Kunjilal, who was once a warrior who had fought for Gyan Chand's father, King Atulya Chand. They wondered whether the ex-soldier would come out with a solution to their problems. They held their breath. "We should do something about it," said Kunjilal, picking up his words carefully. This former soldier still looked strong and sturdy like a mountain lion. At the same time, he was a man of gentle manners. The people admired him. They now looked expectantly into his face. "To begin with, we refuse to pay taxes. When the tax collector comes, see that he goes back empty-handed. Let's see what the king will do." "Yes, yes," chorused the gathering, who now seemed to have acquired some strength instead of remaining meek as they were till now. "We shall beat him if he refused to go away." Fortunately for them, there was no occasion for them to take such an extreme step, for the king came to know of their determination and did not send his tax collector to that village. Instead, he decided to lead his soldiers to fight the villagers. Kunjilal did not get perturbed when some villagers brought him the news that the soldiers had reached the outskirts of the village and they were waiting for the king to join them. "Let me go and request my brother Kirtilal to help me," he thought. "Together, we should be able to defeat the king," he reassured himself. But Kirtilal was a coward by nature. When he knew the purpose of his brother's visit, he told Kunjilal, "Sorry, brother, I haven't been keeping well, and my doctor has advised me not to strain but to take complete rest." Kunjilal was neither surprised nor disappointed. He gathered all the young men in the village and went for a battle with the king's soldiers. Fortunately, the villagers outnumbered the soldiers and they fought bravely and defeated the king. When the victorious village army returned, Kirtilal was in the forefront to welcome them. He hailed his brother. "Kunjilal, I had really wanted to go with you, but I had to heed my doctor's advice. However, you can give me a share of whatever booty you got. After all, I am your loving brother." Kunjilal did not want to pick a quarrel with his brother, so he gave him a part of the booty and sent him back happy. Kunjilal soon realized that King Gyan Chand would not allow him to enjoy his victory for long, and he would wait for an opportunity to punish him. He had no fear for himself, but he was afraid for the sake of his wife, Ganga Devi, who was expecting a baby. He told her one day, "Ganga, my fear is that the king might harm you to punish me. So let me take you away to a mountain cave where you will be safe. I shall bring you back here when I am sure there wouldn't be any trouble." His loving wife, of course, did not wish to leave him alone. She suggested, "My lord, why don't you go and apologize to the king and seek his pardon? I'm sure he'll forgive you and forget everything." "No, Ganga, that'll never happen," said Kunjilal. "Our king is not the type. Look at the way he has been harassing the poor villagers. I shall fight him to the end till he changes his ways." Ganga thought there was no use arguing with her husband, as he seemed to have made up his mind. So she packed enough food and grain to last a long time and went with her husband to the mountain cave. Kunjilal made her comfortable in the cave. As he was leaving, he told his wife, "Ganga, our son will also be a great warrior and fight our enemies when he grows up. Don't be afraid. I shall be back soon." With a heavy heart, he took leave of his wife. A few days later, a messenger from the king met Kunjilal, seeking his help to put down a rebellion in another part of the kingdom. The message added, "If you succeed, you and your village can live in peace forever, and you will be exempted from paying tax." Though he did not have much faith in the king, Kunjilal decided to go for the sake of his village. Once again, he approached his brother for help. Kirtilal said he would go with him. In case of victory, he could expect favors from the king. The brothers and the village army were about to reach the troubled spot when suddenly Kirtilal decided to return home, feigning illness and weakness. "I'm afraid I may not be of much use and I'll only be a burden." Kunjilal excused him and went alone to quell the rebellion. The elders of the village had heard of Kunjilal and how he had earned the love of his own people. They greeted him at the border. Kunjilal assured them that if they entered their revolt, he would ensure that the king did not harass them anymore but ruled justly. The villagers felt that Kunjilal was a person who would keep his promise. So they willingly agreed to withdraw their agitation against the king. Kunjilal was happy that he could quell the revolt without using any force or bloodshed. He decided to raid to the palace and inform the king. On the way, he saw Kirtilal waiting for him. "Why didn't you go home?" Kunjilal queried. "I was afraid the villagers of the valley might harm you, so I waited here so that I could come to your help in case there was a need." Kunjilal thanked him, though he knew what the actual reason was. "Come with me to the palace. I am going to collect my reward." "Of course, I shall accompany you," said Kirtilal. "I should be with you when you carry the treasure the king might give you." The brothers found the king rather cold in welcoming them. He merely said, "You both stay here for a few days and join the court. We don't have warriors in my court." One day, the king sent a secret message to Kirtilal after coming to know that there was no love lost between the brothers. The king promised the hand of his daughter in marriage if Kirtilal met his wily demand. The job was quite easy for Kirtilal because he and his brother were sleeping in the same room. After committing the heinous crime, he went to meet the king to remind him of his promise. The king's response shocked him. Who'll give away his daughter to someone who did not have an iota of love for his own brother? You deserve punishment for the crime you committed, though it was at my behest. The king ordered him to put in prison. Meanwhile, the villagers who had been eagerly waiting for another reception to Kanjilal were shocked when the news of his death at the hands of his brother was conveyed to them. They thought that the king was just in punishing Kirtilal. In the mountain cave, Ganga Devi waited for her husband for days, weeks, months, and years. She was surprised over the absence of any news of Kanjilal. The villagers did not know where he had taken his wife. They were also unaware that a son had been born to her. Ganga Devi brought up her son, whom she named Vajralal. For a long time, the mother and son did not know that a Muni was doing penance in a nearby cave. He had acquired mysterious powers. When he came upon a young boy playing in the vicinity of the caves, he was surprised. The boy took him to his mother, who told him about her husband. It was then that the Muni, by his powers, found out what happened to Kunjilal. He assured Ganga Devi that he would himself impart all education to her son and prepare him for avenging his father's death. Ganga Devi by then had decided that she would not sacrifice her son in any misadventure. But the Muni gave him a coat that would make Vajralal invisible. The young man took the blessings of his mother and Guru and set out for the palace, which he could enter without any difficulty. The king could not make out from where the voice had come. It said, "Gyan Chand, the day of retribution has come. You were unjust to my father and got him killed by his own brother. You forgot that you had used his brother in committing a crime. Your crime is 100-fold than what your mercenary did. Who are you? From where are you speaking?" King Gyan Chand said in a trembling voice. "You don't have to know that," the voice said. The next moment, the king lay dead. Vajralal then went back to his mother. The Muni said the time had come for them to go back to the village. The Muni went with them and addressed the villagers, who hailed the young Vajralal as their new leader.
Dhanyavad. Thank you. If you like this video, do like, subscribe and share. See you in the next one. Bye bye.